have a problem trying to explain to them what a graphic designer is. So let's try from the beginning what a graphic designer is, what a graphic designer does. So let's start word by word. So, and the best way to learn about words is to go to the book that is called the dictionary. So the dictionary says that graphic is something that has to do with drawings or images. Very easy. We're talking about an image, something visual. So what is design? So if you go and check design in the dictionary, it says that is the way in which something is planned and made. So basically, design is to make a plan. That's it. So if we put these two words together, what is graphic design? It's a visual plan. That's it. So what a graphic designer does, it creates a visual plan. That's our duty, our job. So I'm gonna start talking about the process of how to create this plan, because in graphic design what we need is to, in order to a plan to work, it needs to function, you need to use your head. All the intuition, all the ideas, they need to be supported on something that is rational. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna talk about how this flower, that is a symbol that I created, how it came up. So I'm gonna tell the story on how this works. So you're gonna see that in order to create this flower, this symbol, this logo, I ask a lot of questions to what I need for the image to be born. It's not that I just want a flower. I like flowers that are white and yellow, and I made it. No, that was not what's going on. So this project was created for Canada and Uruguay. So it happens that Canada and Uruguay co-chair the Women, Peace and Security as part of the United Nations Security Council. Okay? So they felt the need of having a visual identity that represents the joint work. Okay? So the first thing I did is to check all the different organizations that have a similar values, or basically that they do something very similar. Okay, so this is the logos that I found. So when you analyze these logos, you basically see that these 5 symbols are being mixed in different ways. Okay, this is what I saw. So okay, I see this, and the first thing that I notice is that I need to represent women. And this is the first problem that I found. This is the most abstract shape to represent a woman, but this is not a woman. So what I understood is, in order to represent woman, don't use a woman. Maybe it doesn't make sense, but what I wanted to represent is not the woman, it's the feminine essence. That's what I need to represent, not just the shape of a woman, because it's very hard. Just check out the emojis that we have in our phone. The difference between a girl and a boy is that the girl has long hair. That's it. There's no other difference. It's not enough. That's the problem that I found. Is Canada and Uruguay, or Uruguay and Canada? It's a huge problem. We're talking about politics here, and you as a designer don't want to get in the middle of this problem. So look what I found as a way of not mentioning a country first. So the symbol of Canada is the leaf, the maple leaf, and the symbol of Uruguay is the sun. Each of these symbols now is represented by the colors of their flag. So what if the colors are changed. So in this way, I use this language of changing the colors in order to represent that something happened. Okay? If you used to see the leaf of Canada and you used to see it in red and you see it in yellow, you say, okay, this is something different. What's going on here? And this, I'm gonna tell you something as a graphic designer that you need to understand. You need to be able to digest, to learn from other designers. So this idea of swapping, of changing, you know, from where I took it from movie posters. It happens that movie posters, I don't know, a movie that started by Tom Hanks and Catherine Zeta-Jones. So what happens on that posters? You have the image of Tom Hanks and Catherine Zeta-Jones, but the names are swapped. So you have the face of Tom Hanks, and on top of the face, you have the title of Catherine Zeta-Jones. So why they do that? To avoid presenting one before the other one. So the face of one is first, but the name of the other one is first. So I saw a movie poster, say, oh, I can use this to the logo I'm doing. Okay. So let's start talking about shape. So we have the sun that is circle. We have the maple leaf that is almost like a triangle. So the shape that I need to create has to be square. In order to create balance, in order to look like it makes sense, I have a circle, a square, and a triangle. Perfect. Then one is white on a red background. The other one is yellow on a blue background. Okay, so the background has to be purple because it's the color in the middle. So it's the shape of one is white and the other shape is yellow. That means that the shape that I need to put on a purple background has to be yellow and white. So I make, this is like a recipe that I make. Before starting to sketch, I make a lot of questions, a lot of thinking of what do I need. So this is the recipe that I made. The brand should reflect the values of the institution. The brand should represent women. The brand should be square, and the brand should be white and yellow on a violet background. So, and this is when I saw this flower, that this is the national flower of Canada, and I noticed that it's yellow and white, and say, okay, I got it. That's it. This is what I was looking for. And the logo, when you have a solid concept, the logo just made by is like you're gonna feel that the logo is made by itself. This is how the elements work together: the sun, the leaf, and the flower. So when you look at this, it looks solid, it looks stable, it looks like it makes sense. We know as designers that we have to produce something that is pretty. Nobody likes awful things. We like pretty things. But in design, we want something that is pretty and also that has a visual plan. When I present my works, I always like to put very different situations. Here we see a flag, something that is huge, enormous, colossal, very big. And then what I present, something very, very small, like a pin. Because the logo on the screen looks perfectly, but show it to me in how it's gonna be used. So when you see how it's being used, it becomes real, and the client buys it because he can image how it works. This is a world peace symbol. This is a self-initiated project where I noticed there is a problem. And the problem is that the symbols that are linked to peace share an unfortunate origins that prevent their use by the authorities. So you never saw a government with a peace symbol. Here in Uruguay, for example, the rainbow flag for diversity was placed on the parliament, but never the something for peace. And why? In my opinion, this happens because the three symbols that are linked to peace share an unlucky origin. We have the V of victory, the dove is religious, and the symbol of peace belongs to the hippie movement of the 60s. So we need a new symbol in order to avoid any bad thing that could happen, any resentment. These are the three symbols that are known as peace: the dove, the V, and the symbol for peace. So what I did is not to create a new symbol, start from zero, because it's not going to happen. I'm going to need to invest a lot in order for people around the world to accept the symbol that I'm using as something that communicates what I was trying to say. So in order, I didn't design a new symbol, I redesigned a symbol. So there you can see the symbol being used. So this symbol, this new symbol, has two symbols that are known by everyone: the peace one and the glove, the world. So what I did is to put them together. So this new symbol says something new. It doesn't say peace, it says world peace. On the left is the ambassador of Uruguay to Costa Rica, and on the right is the dean of the University of Peace in Costa Rica. So here we can see an authority using the symbol as I imagine. And something else that I understood is that in order to this symbol to become real, it has to be used by the authorities and also by everyone, not just the authorities. So the authorities that are on the top and the people that are below, everyone has to use it. So how? 2 years ago, a poster exhibition was held where 33 visual artists from 15 different countries participate. So we create an exhibition and we create a social event in order to promote this new symbol. So you can see a variety of, and that's what peace is about. It's about variety that produce a diversity, and diversity and variety is something that we need in order to maintain peace. What you're seeing now is the flyer that was made for the event. So I wanted to create a flyer where people can take to their homes. And I started thinking that, okay, I need a flyer where I put all the posters, you know, that's what you always take when you go to a museum and they give you a catalog of the show, you take some of the pieces. But look what happened. The flyer didn't have the enough space to put all the posters. So what was the solution? To not put any of them. So I was created a window. And something that happened when I was there, people started to take pictures as the flyer, as a window. So I'm being honestly, I didn't thought about this. I didn't thought that people were gonna start using it like this. But I thought that I needed a flyer that doesn't have any of the posters, and the best thing is to create a window. So this is something I think that is very good, because people take it as their own. They use it as they felt it. This is one of the posters created by Miriam Martin Sick. She is from United States, and it is one of the posters that it touched my feelings. So here we're gonna start talking about posters, and here we're gonna see her process. So here we can see that she trusts her hand in order to draw. You're gonna see my process, that I'm not the kind of designer that design with the hand. I design with my head. I think in order to design. The two ways of designing. It's not that one is better or that one is not. It's just different ways. So what is a poster? A poster is a large note, it's a large piece of paper that has pictures on it, and it's placed on the streets in order to advertise something. Okay, that's a poster. If you ask me what to design a symbol for a poster, what is a poster, and I have to define it in an image, is a piece of paper that shouts, because posters has to be visually powerful in order to communicate the message, because we're going to find a poster on the streets and everything. First of all, we only paying attention to our own word, and if something needs to grab our attention, it has to shout. So this is the symbol I created to represent what a poster is. I'm going to share with you my origin, how I started to make posters, my first posters, in order for you to understand that a poster, how I started as a designer to create posters. It's not something that started, and I want to tell you that posters as a designer, you start from zero. It's not that I started designing posters like 15 years ago and not just yesterday. And you're gonna see how I evolve. Okay? Then my approach, and I want to share with you how I believe that the designers should think. Then the development, all the process, the different ways to design a posters, and then the impact. What happened since I started designing posters? So this poster is from my first semester, first year of university. The topic was ugliness. So I used the same shape, repeated the same shape, the same human with a bag on the face, because you're so ugly that you need to use a bag on your face. And the question says, do you also use a bag? And I know that the drawing, the quality of the drawing or the quality of the image, it looks like a kid, but the idea is good. The idea is good. It communicates what it has to communicate. The next poster. This was about Japanese eroticism. So I took a symbol of Japan, and is the imperial flag, and you can see how a sperm goes to the circle. So here is a good way again, and I know that the shapes are not or the lines or even the typography doesn't look tight, but the idea is very good. Something that I like about this poster is about an event, a typographic event, where it was promoted to use typography as image. So I created an image that is abstract. It's a cloud of letters that it looks like grains, okay? And something that I really like about these posters, and I like it because it's something that I continue to do today, is to leave something for the curious people. And I know that not many people will realize that the word image that is in red, it could also be found on the cloud. So you can see that the letter IMAGEN is in red, as well as it's written below. So it's something to be playful. I like to play when I'm designing, but to play without losing what I'm doing, okay? This is a very strong image that I created on my second year. And in my university, when the end of the year, you have to make a portfolio with all the works you did on that year. So I took as milk, as we are mammals and we grow by drinking milk. So I make the relationship of milk with design. A human grows by drinking milk, a designer grows by designing. So that relationship of milk and design is what I try to show on this image. And is that a designer that grows with milk by not just by drinking a glass of milk, by drinking milk with all of the sense. And I play a bit with this image, and I know it has a charge of eroticism on it, and I try to play with that to create the visual powerful approach. This posters is from Joseph Müller-Brockmann from the 60s. Joseph Müller-Brockmann was hired by the Swiss government to create a series of posters on social topic. Okay, so one of the poster was about transit. This poster in particular was about noise pollution, and this poster worked very good. And I want to make you understand why this poster works. This poster is composed by two elements: the woman and the text. The text that is in German says less noise. Look what happens here. I rotated 45 degrees the poster, and you can see that this image, it doesn't suffer, the woman doesn't suffer the noise as much as the previous woman. Why? Why this happens? And let's compare them in order for you to understand. You can see that the one on the left is much visually strong. Why? Why one image that has a diagonal works like that, and the other one that doesn't work like that? Very easy. When in Łódź, where you are, you go to the street and you see you are with your car and you want to park it, and you see a sign that you're not allowed to park. What you see? A diagonal. The human understand the diagonal as something that is forbidden. So Joseph Müller-Brockmann used that use of the human mind in order to communicate that is forbidden. So you have a double cross, and that double cross, the double cross is created by the text and the elbows of the woman, and that is what creates the feeling of forbidden. Development. I found 5 different ways that I came up with a poster. The idea, the sketch, just working with somebody else, the instrument, typography, or the computer. Let's start about the first one, the idea. In this case, the idea is so good, is so solid, that creates the whole poster. In this case, I created a poster for peace, and I wanted to use a different symbol for peace. Why always use the dog? Maybe I can represent peace by the moment the dog was just born by an egg. So the egg is just cracked, and that's the moment peace is born. So I just got the idea, and then I have to work on Photoshop in order to create this shape. That's all I did. This poster says 8th of March. 8th of March is the International Women's Day. So I came up with the idea of putting the woman symbol together with a number 8. Then I needed to find the correct typography, the correct font, in order to communicate this message. That's it. There's nothing else I have to do. This poster was created a couple of years ago when the Syrian government started to bomb their own population with gas. And this poster focused on war, on the children. So when you created a poster, and when you created a poster for war, people don't want to see blood. They want to touch their feelings. So how I did it? With empathy. So the situation is so complicated there that even a teddy bear has to use a mask. This poster is about tolerance. This a tolerance show, international tolerance show, where more than 60 designers from all over the world create a poster about tolerance. So this is the idea that I came up with, and look what happens. It's a sequence of 3 where 2 shapes, one with the letter T of tolerance that is on red and the other one that is on blue, get together, and both of them forget about being blue and red and create unity by being purple. And I want to say to you how I came up with this idea. Sometimes when you are trying so hard, this poster I spent almost 2 weeks, and I was failing because I was not happy with the idea that communicates what I wanted to communicate. So sometimes when you are trying to do something and you don't get the result, try something completely different. So I was trying to do a poster and I didn't come up with an idea. Maybe I do something completely different. Go to sit down, open a book of logos. I'm doing a poster, so why not open a book of logos? And I see this page, and on this page, I saw this logo. And I said, oh, maybe I can use this shape to tell the story. Then I see this shape, I open my sketchbook, and I make this quick drawing where the relationship of the shapes is what tells the story. This is the complete opposite. When you are sketching, and but how the drawing evolves creates the poster. So I already made a poster with an egg to represent peace. What if I create an image that has the dog and the egg together? So sometimes not always, when you're sketching, you forgot where you're going. And here I make, I don't know how many illustrations, but which one is the most convenient to use on a poster? That one. So why that one? Because I didn't choose the one that I like the most. I choose the one that fits better on a poster. Why? Because it's vertical. It's a vertical image. So if I'm doing a poster that is vertical, then the illustration should be vertical. The posters that we're going to see now was created to support Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez is a striker from Uruguay national team. He bought Italian football player, and I knew that the FIFA they gonna give him a punishment, huge punishment for the thing he did. And I realized, first of all, that we all know that FIFA is a mafia. And by doing this sketch, I realized that there is only one letter apart from FIFA to mafia, and it's the letter M. So I created a crosswords. In the middle, you can read FIFA, and you can read that FIFA is actually made by a mafia. So the mafia is what actually creates the FIFA. Team. When you're working with somebody else, and that I like to say that when you're working with a team, it's like playing ping pong. It's like yours, mine, yours, mine, yours, mine, and that is what creates the actual work. So here you can see my hands and the hands of a girl working together to compose a poster. And this is the poster that we created. So you can see there a relationship between the leaf that is being cut, and you can see the shape and the counter shape, and you can also see that on the letter Z. So it is a relationship that makes the poster coherent, consistent. Union. Union. This doesn't say only union, it says infinite union. And I came up with this image, and this image with this lettering, I don't have the skills, the patience to create this image work. So I hire a type designer to transform this into this. So sometimes you need to know where to stop and say, okay, you know something, I need somebody else to help me with this. This posters, and this poster was created with a Polish designer, a designer that I met on when I was being in Poland. I visited Poland 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It seems that last year doesn't count. 3 years ago, I was invited to do a series of exhibitions and workshops, and there I met Janusz Bielinski. I felt that with him I can really create images completely different than I was working by myself. So this image that you can see as a skull that is biting a flower is about descarbonization. Descarbonization is to push the humans to stop using petrol as our main resource for energy. And this is an image that warns to stop doing, otherwise the death is going to bite us. So how this image was created? This image was created by looking at this image. So this image was created by Paul Rahn more than 50 years ago regarding peace. So you can see that the image that we created is like a sister or a brother of this image. So why not? Why we cannot create to be inspired on a different image to create our own? And it's not that we copycat this image. No, we stand on this image to create a different one. the instrument. I'm a designer that used typefaces, typography to transmit the message. In my opinion, the alphabet is the most important invention created by the human being. This poster was created for the National Prize of Handcraft. So instead of pushing each craft on a poster, I try to create, like, let's say, like a suit, like a variety of typeface that actually is what communicates what the prize, the National Prize of Handcraft is about. Here you see in a press printer as Rodrigo's. He's from Buenos Aires, and we work together to create a series of social posters. And I already have a social poster exhibition, but I wanted to do something completely different, and is to use to create social posters in a much more human way, by using cotton paper. And this cotton paper was made handmade, and everything was done by our hands. So it has a different touch, a different feeling. And this is the poster that was created. And the poster says amor is the Spanish word for love. And you can see that the two O's of the word works like a chain, and that's what creates the feeling of the poster. Before, what you were seeing, that we didn't have, for example, the letter R. One of the letter R's, we didn't have it, so we made the R by a letter P and the diagonal of a letter V. This is this quote. I saw it on a graffiti of Uruguay. The graffiti says, "I have a dream that doesn't let me sleep." But when I see this, when I saw this quote, I like it. But I said, you know something? Why on a negative aspect? Why don't transform that quote in something positive? I have a dream to continue being awake. So they both say the same message, but this one is positive. And look what happened. We didn't have in Spanish, we have the letter ñ. The ñ is basically a letter N with a bow tie. So we didn't have that letter. So we created the bow tie with an arrow that points to the right with red. So the thing that stands out is what we lack. So we transform that into something positive as well. PAZ is the word of peace in Spanish. So, and this is surrounded by exclamation marks, and it has to shout. So something that shouts, something that vibrates. So we have to communicate that feeling with typefaces. So that's what's going on here. This poster that seems that doesn't have anything, and we're gonna do a zoom in to the word that is there in the poster. This word is missing, desaparecidos. In Uruguay, we suffer a dictatorship during the 70s and 80s, where a lot of people went missing just for thinking different. And as a designer, I don't care about politics. I care about human rights. So there's people that were missing just because they believe something different. And this word in Spanish has something special that I noticed. So the word is desaparecidos, that is what you're seeing on the screen. This word has a singularity. There is consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant. So what happened? We remove the ink from all the vowels. So there's something that is missing. So we talk about something that is missing with the missing ink. So we use the technique of printing to communicate the message. Computer. When you start sketching on the computer, this poster was created for a social cultural place, small town in Uruguay that has 5,000 people. And I was invited there. I stayed 1 day, but I finished staying 2 days because they were really happy for me to be there. And I also was happy of being there. So I created this poster as a gift for them. And this place, like I was saying, is a very small town that they are known for have a big dairy industry. So dairy is all about cows. And when I was there, I came up with this image, and it's like a cow that is part of the place. You actually use optical art in order to show that the cow is there or is not. The cow is of the place. So from this point, and this is also something that I want to show, in order to come up with the cow, I have to create the whole Noah's Ark. It's like you have the dog, a hyena, something between a cow and a dog, and the last one is the cow. You have to continue playing and continue working and continue to insist to get the cow. This is the actual place. This is the building. So I created a poster mixing the cow and the building. So I started by I liked the idea of it's not that I thought that was appropriate to use the aesthetics of the old video games. So I started with this image where you can see all the dots. They create a building. So you're gonna see the process, okay? From something very simple and how you can see that it gets elaborated. One thing that I noticed is that I left the door in black. It looks like it's open in compared to the windows that are closed. One of the things that I noticed is that I needed a little bit more dots in order to have a better resolution. Something that was like there was a point that I needed to work hard was the stairs, because to create a house or to create a window, to create a door, these shapes are much more simple than stairs. Stairs are a very complicated shape to create. So you're gonna see how what I did is to create different kind of stairs in order to see which one fits better to the image. Okay, I have the image. Now let's try to compose the layout of the poster, where I have the image that is square, and then I have the text. Now, next question, how I make together the image of the cows, the building, and the text. Again, different options is the best way. It's the only way in design. In order to find which one is the best way, you need to do all the ways in order to be able to choose which one is the best one. Then I play with color. I have the shape, and something that I do is first to work in black and white, because if the shape is good, now let's talk about color, because what colors add is the psychological aspect. Color helps to communicate the message. It brings psychology. And this is the final poster. Let's talk about this poster. This poster was created for a movie about a British architect that goes by the name of Mr. Foster. So we know that architecture basically is to design on 3D, is design the space, design buildings. So I wanted to communicate that essence. So here, this poster, this image doesn't communicate that it's a building, but it communicates space. How I started to create this poster? Well, I noticed that if I do this to the name of the architect, it creates like the feeling of space. How was this achieved? I slanted the half of the letters. So after doing this, I noticed if I put one next to the other one, it creates a feeling of a building. After having that, okay, how this can work on a poster. So you're gonna see now different options of the poster, or how to communicate the feeling of space using the title of the movie. What happens if I help the text using shade? Because if light hits this, it's gonna have different shades. Different options, different ways of communicating the same message. Different options again. And the final solution. And this is the final solution. Let's talk about this one. This one is about immigration in the United States. This poster was designed when Trump took power. And the United States, as Uruguay, is a country that was built by immigrants. So, and we know that immigrants or people that migrate can be represented by arrows. And the first idea that I had is to maybe I could represent people using an arrow and a circle as their head. It didn't work out. It wasn't a good idea, but the arrows it was. So what you see in here is the actual illustrator with all the different options that I created. I make all these options and then I select these ones. These ones are the ones that work better. Something that I noticed, okay, we're talking about the United States. I'm gonna have to use the colors. One of the colors is white. The other one is red and blue. So if I want to use white as a color, for sure, the background of the poster has to be black. And another thing is that if I want to represent the United States, maybe I can use a star that you can find on the flag. So why this poster works good is because there's not a color that touches the other one. It creates a rhythm that is special. Also, if you notice the text, it's not in it's not in white, it's in gray, because I want to create different levels of hierarchy in order to make the message goes better. So it's in gray, it's in a different, completely different level. 3 years ago, the Bauhaus, the first school of design from Germany, was founded, and I decided that I wanted to create a poster for this school. And how I came up with this poster. So this poster that was designed in 1923 to represent the human of the Bauhaus. It's very rational, it's very German, uses straight lines, black and white. So, and I asked to myself, if I have to redesign this poster 100 years afterwards, how? So I asked this question: what if this Bauhaus man meet this geisha and have a son? The geisha poster was designed in the 80s by Iko Tanaka, a Japanese poster. So he came to Los Angeles in California, United States, to give a talk. So he brought the Japanese culture to express the topic. Because I noticed that the first thing that this German man needs is color. And the geisha poster has color and has a very similar use of geometric shapes. So maybe if I think of these two getting a son or a daughter is what I need. The other thing that I need to communicate that I felt is that it shouldn't be a man, it should be a woman. So we're gonna see all the process. Another thing that as we posed before, maybe to have long hair is better, because I completely failed to represent a woman. So I noticed that maybe I didn't have to represent a woman, maybe to represent someone that it's not gonna be recognizable as man or as woman. Is this person a man or a woman? I don't know, and that's even better, because I play with color and shape to represent what I was trying to say. And look at the title that says Bauhaus. Bauhaus has two different A's. Why? Because I can play, and I know that's something that doesn't bother, and it's the same thing that I was saying to you about the poster of image to leave something for curious people. Why I did it? Because I can. And that's, I think, that creates a much more playful poster. The impact. Here, what you're seeing is different images of what happened when I started to design poster. I was able to do 13 different exhibitions in 4 countries around the world and in 4 different cities of Uruguay. And I'm actually here talking about posters to you. So for me, this is the impact of what is to design posters. So now we're gonna have a Q&A section, questions and answers. I want to start dropping the first question. And for me, the first question that I want you guys to understand or to think of, if you want to be a businessman, businesswoman, or a designer. For me, it's important, and the correct answer, in my opinion, is both. In order to succeed as a designer, you need to think about doing business, because nobody's going to hire a designer that doesn't think about business. The person that is going to hire you is going to be a businessman that knows the value of design. So if you only think about design as color and shape, you're going to fail. So in order to succeed, please think about being, in my case, a businessman. If you have this both way of thinking in yourself, you're gonna succeed. So that's my email. If somebody wants to drop me a line, I'm always in touch. I will be happy to get to know you and to start an exchange on design. Below you can see my user on Instagram if you want to follow me and check what I'm doing. That's my signature. That's my signature as a designer. And that was it. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen in order to start with to hearing your questions, okay?
Thank you, Gabriel, for presentation. Proszę Państwa, czy są jakieś pytania do Gabriela w związku z jego wystąpieniem albo jakieś pytania poza tym wystąpieniem?
Do you have your project that is your favorite or you're the most proud of?
The next one.
Okay.
That's the most politically correct answer, and I'm gonna tell you this is the question that I've been asked before, and you know why I think about the next one? Just think about say, oh, this is my favorite work. So all the other work that you're gonna do is cool because I want you to make a lot of money. That's not the idea.
Jeśli nie, to będziemy powolutku kończyć spotkanie.
I was wondering, like, what is the biggest slip up that you've made during, like, I mean, assuming you made one, like, what's the biggest slip up that you've made with your designs?
The biggest, I beg your pardon, the biggest?
Like, like, you know, a slip up, like a mistake, or you did something that you shouldn't, because you just didn't realize that, you know, something shouldn't be done. Was there anything like that?
Yeah, of course. The one I remember one, I was in my first years, I was working on editorial design studio, and the main title on the cover was not aligned. And I realized when all the books came, I don't know, 300, 1,000, I don't remember how many, they were misaligned because of the guy that is talking to you.
And did anyone notice it?
The client didn't notice.
Oh, that's the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And the one that noticed was myself, because I say, okay, did I make this? Come on, I didn't make this. And I opened the file on my computer, said, yep, it was me. So it's our own secret.
Gabriel, do you know the answer to the question why mistakes are usually visible when the stuff are printed? That's
You tell me. You tell me.
I don't know.
But that's why when you're doing a book or when you're doing a poster, print it, because the mistakes you're only gonna realize about the mistakes when it's printed. I don't know if something about God, the devil, or who has the answer, but it's always when you print it, you say. Oh.
Proszę Państwa, czy są jakieś pytania? Widzę, że się Państwo powoli rozkręcili. Czy już jesteście padnięci i kończymy spotkanie? Gabriel, I think that shortly we will make a summary of our meeting. Thank you very much for your time, and for that I always can count on you, because every time I ask you about meeting with my students, you are okay. So thank you for that. Thank you everyone for joining us. Have a nice day and don't work too much. Dziękuję Państwu. Można się bawić.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Goodbye.
Bye. Enjoy your day.
You too.
Okay. We keep in touch. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.